Ariel Helwani
Ariel Helwani.
in New York City.
New York City.
Your kind of town.
No. I'm a gangster. What would I do in New York? This place is filthy. I wouldn't run a dice game on the street here if I could. I would be leaving New York after I take on the surest win in all of New York, Wanderlei Silva. Well, aside from the Knicks, of course.
Wow, you went there?
I did.
That's not cool.
It was brilliant, actually.
I saw you holding up the
Wait till you
jersey.
see it on the tape. It was a
Yeah.
No. Did I hold up a Knicks jersey?
You did.
They must have made me do
They
that.
did. They
Chael P. would not hold up a Knicks jersey. My uncle was a two-time NBA champion and Olympic gold medalist in basketball. I've
Who's
never
that?
seen a basketball game. Mel Counts. Represented, won it in Tokyo in 1964. Played with the Celtics in 65 and won it. And then he won another title, either with the Lakers or the Suns. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this because you've distracted me, but I'm sure I had a point, and I'm sure it was brilliant.
I'm curious as to why the athletic gene
Are you?
stopped at
You're
him.
curious?
It stopped
Oh, ha, very funny. You know, he is 7 feet tall, and he
wow.
was one of the first 7 feet players ever in the game.
at. What's he doing now?
He's a real estate man. I mean, he's
Okay.
essentially retired, but yeah, he's a real estate guy. Follows basketball, has about 100 grandkids, and goes to all their games.
I would be remiss if I don't ask you about what just happened. He pushed you, and it seemed to have bothered you. Is that accurate?
Yeah, Ariel, I fall for it every time. I let that guy get within arm's reach. And my father taught me as a kid, the fight, you don't have to let the guy throw the first punch. When a guy has a problem with you and he gets within arm's reach, the fight has begun. Every single time I let him do it, and every single time he touches me. In this fashion, I'm not going to play that up. He pushed me, it was light, whatever. But I still fall for it every time. And I told him as we were coming across, I said, just stop right there. Let's just stop right here before this turns into something. And you never know what they're going to do in New York. Right, the press conference in New York. If we're in L.A., we're not licensed there. We don't face the same sanction. But there's things that go with it. I remember when I was getting ready to fight Anderson Silva. He didn't want to fight me. And he tried to get a fight at the weigh-ins so that I would attack him, and then he wouldn't have to do the fight on Saturday. And I was very poor at that time, and I really needed that fight to happen. I did nothing back. It's like, Wanderlei, I'm a rich man. I will whip your ass right here at the press conference. But every single time, the reason it frustrates me is every time I fall for the same thing, and I keep letting him get close, and I just can't trust him.
What did he say to you? He kept saying something to you.
He was saying, you know what you did in Brazil, you know what you did in Brazil, which he's been saying that a lot, and I actually don't get the reference. I mean, I would assume it has something to do with The Ultimate Fighter, and he didn't like how he was portrayed on the show, but he's never actually specified specifically what I did. And I did a whole lot of things, so, I mean, he kind of needs to narrow it down for me a bit.
Do you feel like he's taking all of this too personally?
Maybe. I mean, it's a personal sport. I hear people say all the time that it shouldn't be personal, but I don't know where they get that from. I mean, this is a fist fight. Sports are personal. I grew up as a wrestler, and people would say that too. And wrestling's much more limited in the rules than this. And wrestling was personal. So, yeah, I think he's taking it personal, but, you know, I wouldn't say that that's going to harm him on Saturday. I'm going to harm him on Saturday, but I don't know if the emotion of personal will.
You have one more square off that's at the weigh-ins. Are you at all concerned that something else will happen there?
I'm not going to let him get close. I
Okay.
made that promise to myself this time, and then I broke it. And, you know, I asked him to stop, and he came a little bit close. And he was dressed all nice today, so I thought, well, maybe he's on
Tucked-in
good
shirt?
behavior. Yeah, you know, I don't know why I keep falling for it. But yes, I'm not going to let him get close. You know, I vowed to myself. I even told my wife before this. I said, if he gets within arm's reach, I'm going to attack him because I'm going to take that as a sign of aggression. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that he needs to do that. And I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I really don't want to throw punches at him until Saturday. But, you know, if I got to push him or whatever needs to happen, I don't know.
If you see him in the back, if you see him at the hotel, is it possible something will happen?
Yes, 100%. I can't believe they put us at the same hotel. I haven't ran into him here. I did not run into him in the back, and I don't think anybody took the precautions to keep us separated. I think it just worked out that way, and we got to the press conference, and I tried to not look at him. But, yeah, man, it's one of those things. I don't know why they square us off. I don't know why they don't just keep us apart.
Last thing, you know, the legacy question in sports, especially when you're talking to a veteran, is always a funny one because you have a long list of accomplishments. Your resume is very in-depth. But do you feel, considering the layoff, considering the debut didn't go as planned, you said, you know, it was almost embarrassing to lose to Tito. Is your legacy at stake here? Do you have to do something spectacular to remind people of who you are?
I suppose you always have to do that. You know, I don't put a lot of thought into legacy, and guys that talk about it annoy me greatly. I can remember being in high school, going to the football games, and seeing guys that had graduated a couple years earlier showing up in their Letterman's jacket. I mean, I really think whenever you're doing something in life, when you move on, pass the torch to the next guys. And I see guys in sport that want to talk about their legacy and rest on their laurels and be talked about forever. It's like, guys, go do something else. Go be celebrated for that. Go be a great husband or a father or move on in some other business ventures. Let's not just talk about what we did when we were kids.
Okay. The arms are looking good, by the way.
Do they look good? That's clean,
Yeah.
you know,
Basically.
fairly.
Thank you,
On the
Chael.
curve. You're welcome, Aaron. And you mean that. You know, a lot of people say
No,
thank you
I
like
do.
as a you know, goodbye, as a ceremonial, you know, the interview's over. but you really mean it.
I sincerely
You're
appreciate
happy
your
to
time.
be here with me.
Absolutely.
Huh?
We've
You
come a
really
long
mean that,
way.
don't you? We have come a long way. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
This
Same
is
to
a
you.
big deal. This is a big deal. Errol Hawani standing next to Chael Sonnen.
At a Bellator event.
You've made it.
I've made it.
How's Oliver? He's asking about
He's
me?
great, yes.
I like to show you all the time that I know the young man.
But you only mention one, and I have three now.
I know, and that embarrasses me. But
Yeah.
your mother only gives me credit when I bring up
does.
Oliver.
She loves
so
it.
I say hello to Oliver and to you, Mama.
All right. Thank you, Chael. All the best on Saturday.
Thank you, Ariel.